That was the chair. Hi folks, long time no see. Thought I'd do a little catch-up video. I know it's been a long time, and I did make a lot of friends online, and I haven't been a very good friend. So basically, this next to me is my new best friend. As a lot of you might know, I got into AI, ended up getting hired by Leonardo AI to help with the Discord server and mentor people into how to get the best out of using Leonardo AI. So anyway, this is a Anycubic Cobra S1. It's apparently a Core XY printer, and basically this was the next evolution from the AI, because with this I can take the images I create on AI and print them out. And obviously it just started as a hobby. It wasn't expensive. This, I think, all in cost me like 450 quid. It's not, a massive expense. This thing on top is it's a ACE unit, or there's other names for it depending on what company, but basically it allows you to do multicolour prints. And one has just finished. I don't know if that will show up on camera, but it's it's definitely stuck to the plate, this one. But well, actually, let's put this next to the mic, because this is quite a satisfying noise actually. Oh yeah. And just like that, we have a 3D print. Now that's just one of the designs I do, and it's backlightable basically. And the way this technology works is I've got a bit of software called HueForge, and it takes 2D images, and depending on the luminosity of the image, it gives it different layers. So the darker layers will be at the bottom, lighter layers at the top, and with that you can add some colour in. And get this, what I'm going to do now is just turn the torch on here, and hopefully that's enough to, without the torch, it's not really showing up too well on camera. That is the problem with these, they don't show off too well on camera, but basically the whole outside glows and the image glows a lot more. So that's what I'm doing, and that turned from a hobby into a business idea. Word of mouth, people were liking what I was doing. I started, getting lots of requests in. So I thought, well, why not start a business? And hence, Touch My Arts was born. And that's the business name I'm going with. But unfortunately, you can't really run a business with one printer. So what I did was I ordered an Anycubic Cobra X, but I made the silly mistake of ordering it with one of these, or the upgraded one of these, which is the Ace 2 Pro. And because I ordered it with that, unfortunately it's delayed the order, so I might not get that printer until like early June. Oh, excuse me, early June. Now it's not normal practice. I pre-ordered basically. It just looked like a great little printer, perfect for what I need to do. There is quite a bit of waste involved in this, but not as much as with most multicolour printing, because with these you do it basically it builds it up in layers. So with this one here, it'll throw back there, and what it does, so basically it started with yellow, then it prints orange, then it prints blue, then it finishes off with black at the top. So it's only doing like 4 colour swaps. Now with most multicolour prints it does multiple swaps per layer. Luckily with these you don't do that. And yeah, so basically these are just some of the designs I've been doing. Don't know if any of you are into Red Dead Redemption. So I create all these designs, and it's a great way now for me, to possibly make a business out of this. I'm thinking of getting a stall going at least, or following along with some of the Oh, here we go. I haven't actually got any of the window stickers here, but as you can see, they can be hung, and I've got like sucker cups, and you can stick them to mirrors, windows, anything, you know, that a sucker cup can stick to. You see repeatable designs, you've already seen that one. And one of the great things is they're really quite cheap to print out, so the profit margin could be quite good if they take it off. You know, obviously living in the country, I've got a lot of these animal ones because I figured that would sell well in the country. But also, you know, you can do proper good portraits and stuff. So that's just Henry Cavill. You know, I don't know if any of you have been watching Fallout or are interested in the games, but that's me as a ghoul. You know, and these are, like I say, these are all designs I've created myself using AI. Sigourney Weaver merging into a xenomorph. Aerith merging with Cloud if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan. And with the more detailed portraits and stuff, I do tend to stick to a more monochrome, or I don't know if the colour's going to show up on that, but I use like a peanut brown to give almost like an old ink effect. And talking of that, I mean, you can print these out in panels as well to make one larger image. And I will overlay some footage because I've done the Middle Earth map, the Lord of the Rings map, like that, and it's stuck to my wall, so I didn't bring that out. Like I say, so some of these, you know, they're just more like kind of artsy pieces and stuff like I've gone for. And I know a lot of people will be saying, don't be silly, AI doesn't produce art. You know, once you've got a physical copy of it in your hand, diabolical! Then, you know, when does it start to become art, or can it ever become art? That's a good question. Answers in the comments. Oh, here's one of my favourites actually. I did a rendition of, I don't know whether this will show up on camera, but it has got it written there, Tears in the Rain. And if you can name that movie, boom boom, you're a legend. And like I say, and you may see some repeats, and I haven't quite got the process down perfectly yet, so there are imperfections. Sometimes there's a bit of leakage, sometimes the layer might not go down well, but like I say, it's all part of the process, all part of the learning curve. You know, I'm into the whole fan art stuff as well, which is what some of these are. So you've got like Cammy there from Street Fighter. Oh no, that one is a design of my own. Actually, let's see if that one, because that one comes up really well, like held up against the light. So hopefully the torch will do it some justice here. So it's a bit too focused, but as you can see, all the highlights really pop out when you stick a light behind it. Oh, Chun-Li, one of my favourites. I've done quite a few Chun-Li images. And we've got like a demon librarian and angel librarian. Oh, my own recreation of the Gandalf and Balrog scene. Again, most of these are backlit. The white bordered ones weren't. They're just standard images that I see. So like I say, so some of them are reprints. And this is a really old print actually. It's one of the first ones I did. And it's a shame, like I say, you can't actually like get across just how cool these are. It's textured images, so it's, you know, you can actually, hence why I went with Touch My Arts for the name of the business, because it's something you're encouraged to touch. You know, I'm also, you know, wondering, maybe getting in touch with, you know, some kind of organisation for the blind and stuff. And I don't know, you know, I don't know anybody who's blind or anything, but maybe this kind of art would be interesting to them, you know, because it's a very tactile. So I don't know, maybe worth talking to somebody about that. But anyway, that's me caught up. I'm not 100%, like I say, ready to go ahead with the business yet. It's there. You can find me on Instagram, Touch My Arts, with underscores in between each one. I've not got many followers yet. I'm not really pushing it out big time. Where you see some of the commissions I've had and stuff, and just some of the fun stuff. It's mainly well, it's only images on there at the moment. I will be getting a website going. I'll get an Etsy store going and all that kind of stuff. But at the moment, dealing with postage logistics is just not high on my priority. I'd rather get a physical stall going somewhere, or like I say, follow conventions around. Like the geek conventions, Comic Cons, that kind of stuff. And worst comes to worst, I live in an area where there's lots of church fetes and stuff that go on, so maybe just hit up some church fetes. But it's nice to have something to keep me going. Definitely went into a massive slump. Kind of AI pulled me out of it, but it did pull me away from everything else. That's what getting a job does to you, really. Actually gives you a life. But that's all kind of still going. Trying to think of anything else to really catch you up on. Mum's still going. Most of you will be glad to hear that. She beat, gosh, I don't know how many cancers she's beaten, but yeah, she's still going. She's just had to have her gallbladder removed because that had basically turned into a ball of pus. Blech, yeah, I know. But she's recovering from that at the moment. But yeah, other than that, everything's going great. This video's going on a lot longer than I thought it was, just to show off a few prints and my printer, although I can't wait to, get the actual business going, because everyone who sees them in person is blown away, hence the word of mouth. It really gets out there fast. People are like, oh wow, I think, my nephew would like that, or my cousin would like that, oh, my brother would like that, so there's lots of that kind of stuff. In fact, I did an image for my mum for Christmas of, me and my brothers. So, it's great for stuff like that. I do pets, wedding photos. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, my youngest brother and his wife are pregnant for the first time. So, so yeah, I may do a scan photo as a Hue Forge as well for them. But it does kind of take over your life. You end up buying tons of filament. I probably spent more on filament now than the actual printer itself. So, but I print a lot. I mean, I think I've done close to 1,000 hours anyway on it. And that's the stack of prints I've just shown off, and that's like the tip of the iceberg. That really is. I mean, so many of them gone now. Oh, actually, here, look, I forgot about these little things, because what I can also do, print out some business cards for somebody. These are failures, unfortunately, so I doubt you'll be able to scan that one. But that's a guy who I follow on YouTube, and he's decided to do a clothing line. I'm weird, so I printed him a load of business cards and sent them off to him, and some signs and stuff. But also, I can do these little things as well, like just the background with different designs on. Maybe little bookmarks or something like that, or maybe and that's another thing. Before I really go ahead, I'm going to need to learn yet another bit of software so I can actually start making light boxes. Because, well, where is it? Yeah, well, these ones, I've designed them with a hoop on top so they can be hung in the window. These ones are just a square panel, so it's not really good for just leaning against the window. So what I need to do is design light boxes for the individual size, so I can, replaceables, just slot it in, have an LED at the back, strip at the back, little battery pack, you know, sell them for 15-20 quid each. Because these, you know, I'm quite happy to sell these for just a tenner. The panels and the hangers. But if I'm going to go make a light box and stuff, you know, charge a little bit more. Anyway, dragging on now, that's me kind of caught up. If anybody, you know, may be interested in doing a bit of a live stream catch up or something at some point, let me know. See if we can get that together. Oh, finally grew that wacky moustache I always wanted, Mick, if you're watching. Yeah, that's it. I will say, see you later.